Hello and welcome to Euro Truck Simulator 2 with me, Kevin Sawyer. Hope you guys and girls are all well and enjoying your day, whatever you're up to. Right, as you can see, we're back in Scania here, and I've got the new DLC, and I've already made a start on the event. I'm going to show you what route I've got on today. I've got another one, hopefully, so we're going from here to there. Please don't ask me to pronounce that. I'm not even going to attempt to announce that. But literally, I thought I'd get here first. I drove to the first point where we're at now, and then that was like a 1,000-mile route. It's 1,130, I think, miles I had to do. Anyway, let's reset the old trip computer and back to 0. Right, got to charge the brakes up because while it's doing that, we're going to quickly pop around and do the pre-checks. Jump under the truck, because you know I love to jump under the truck. Yep, everything's all should be good. I did have an AI guy run into the back of me, which is a bit disconcerting. I've just noticed that those wheels are different colour to those wheels. Something I've got to fix in the shop. Or those wheel nuts, I should say, are different colour to those wheel nuts and those wheel nuts. It's definitely something I need to fix in the shop. Otherwise it looks a bit odd. This isn't my trailer, as I'm doing the events, it's what they've given us. And I'll take extra precautions as it is my trailer. Go around from some extra checks, make sure these wheel nuts are all good. Yep. Apart from obviously having all colour wheel nuts. Right, okay. Let's jump in. And let's charge the air back up. What am I at? 16 bar. Or 16 PSI I should say. Well, I hope you guys and girls are all well. Who's got the DLC already? Who hasn't got the DLC? I would like to know. People still on the fence about it. I'll widen the window down so you guys and girls can hear the engine. That's the one I want. For a little while. Right, the emergency brake is off, but I'll keep building the pressure up. We're at 47 PSI, so it's jumped up to 60. That should be enough air in there now. I'll wait for the light to go out and the buzzer to stop going off. There we go. Right, try to brake off. It's gonna the alarm's going to go back off again, but we've got enough air in here to drive on, so I shall. Shouldn't take long to build up pressure again. Slot. I don't think there's a train coming, just in case. It's a big 90-degree corner here, pretty much a 90-degree. Any of you completed the event already? You're thinking I'm a bit slow. I know. To be honest, looking at what you win, is it a special skin and then the World of Trucks achievement? I'm not overly that fussed. I haven't been for a while. If it's something cool, like a cabin accessory or something unique,
Right.
then yeah, okay. Some people are going to say that the paint job is unique, but the amount of people that are going to be completing this event, you know, it's not going to be really that unique, is it? Really, I suspect probably the world and his wife's probably going to be completing it, or if they've not already completed it. Watch the trailer. Pressure's built up. Just heard the governor kick in, so shut the window now. We're on the
left. Then turn
motorway.
left. Turn left.
Got to turn left, haven't I? I didn't hear him, so I spotted it on the sat nav. I'm in a way again. I know it seems a bit boring. Next time, I promise I will go into manual again. I wasn't in the mood for shifting. Admittedly, my brother, me and him had a discussion a while back, because he's been pretty much a manual driver all his life. Pretty much, because he started off on motorbikes, and then once he got into cars, it was all manual. Till recently, for the last couple of years, he's been nagging at me. Well, he's not been nagging at me, but he's been saying how fed up of manuals he's getting, because he does a lot of driving, and he doesn't mind it too much on the motorways or dual carriageways or whatever, because he can quickly go through the gears and everything else. But it's the city driving that really gets to him. He's just like constantly going up and down the gearbox, and I could understand where he's coming from. And a lot of drivers I talk to, the truck drivers, all say they prefer automatics over manuals. And a driver in the other day is saying it's more or less driving with your fingers now, because you just do everything off the steering wheel. I'm going to creep forward. I'm going to make a bit of an apology as well. In the last couple of videos, I've noticed every now and again I get a little cut out in sound, and it's in both game sound and my mic. And I think I've mentioned this once before. I think it's to do with XSplit, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I can go through here. What? I must have hit the back end of that car. Oh well. It's even more damage now. Just written off someone's car in real life. I think I need to go on this one here. I hope. Yeah, looks about right. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so he wants, because he's old. He had a Nissan Primera. It was getting old in the tooth, and it was starting to burn oil. And he brought it to me initially, and I said, look, it's burning quite a lot of oil, and my compression tester's like knackered, so you might want to take it to the garage. Let's say my compression tester is basically what you use a compression tester for, is you unscrew either the spark plug, or in case if it's diesel, the injector, and then you run in the compression for it, and you turn the engine over. Best by hand, but if you want, you can turn it over with the starter. Make sure no one's down my side. So yeah, because mine needs servicing. I think there's something wrong with the valve inside of it. But anyway, I digress. So he took it to the garage, and it was due for an MOT anyway, and they put an advisory up on his MOT that it was burning a lot of, well, a fair amount of oil on the be in that other lane. They passed it because it just barely passed on emissions by the skin of its teeth, but they said, look, you're going to probably need a new engine by its next MOT, especially the sort of mileage he is doing. So he then decided, right, okay, I'll drive it for a few more months just so I can raise some more money to buy a new car. Well, not new car, but newer car with less miles on it. And he went for a little Polo. It's a little 1.4 automatic, and he's already said to me his left leg gets bored. Yeah, I can understand that as well. When I'm driving around on a forklift truck all day long, your left leg's got nothing to do because it's got no gearbox or anything. It's just it's just push to accelerate and push the brake to brake, and then you operate the levers, the hydraulics with your right hand, and it's just left hand use left hand to steer it. That's pretty much how it goes. Obviously, don't try and hit anyone. That's the first golden rule of forklift trucking. Don't hit anyone or anything. We'll try not to anyway. But anyway, I feel the same. My left leg gets bored and it goes to sleep a lot of the time as well. So when I do get off the truck or whatever, I have to be extra careful, because if it's gone to sleep, as I go to step off, it's like, oh, my legs sort of like almost collapses in on itself.
Keep left.
Yeah, it's the same now. I'm driving an automatic now, so I tuck my left leg behind my right leg. That way it's out of the way and I know not to press the clutch. Because I've still, though I drive an automatic, I'm still using my G27 wheel, which has 3 pedals. I could just rest it on the clutch, but I think if you push the clutch in, it actually disengages the truck. I haven't tried it. No, it doesn't. I've just tried it now. So I could put it on there. But then I have the overwhelming temptation to keep pressing the clutch, so and I don't need to. So I just tuck it behind my right leg a lot of the times. Come on, dude, speed up. This is where adaptive cruise control would be handy. I hope that's the next thing they bring in. Yeah, we were set to washing his car Friday, and it was filthy, and I think that's the reason why we've had all this crazy weather now. Literally, it was snow. I was just like, yeah, that's because we washed his car. That's what that's all about. You know, it was filthy. I had to go around. What I did is I used what I typically do when I do any, because for you guys that don't know, I used to be a motor vehicle mechanic before I worked in retail. I'm actually MVQ level 3 technician, distinction, because I got a distinction when I passed, motor vehicle engineer, when I actually passed my qualification. So because of what happened with sort of like jobs here, there and everywhere, I ended up just working in retail. No, it sounds crazy, but that's how things ended up. I got, after being made redundant from 4 garages, And I walked out of one as well. It was a Baker, it was a Vauxhall dealership. This is when I was very young, when I just first started doing my MVQ, and they were treating me like garbage. They're expecting me to do. They weren't paying me, not even YTS money. They weren't even paying me at all. I was doing it on a voluntary basis. Until one of the mechanics said to me, this is one of the few that I liked there, said to me, well, they're actually paying you? And I said, they're not. And that, he sort of like had a word with the serviceman, got me on YTS money. But even then, we were on YTS money, they were expecting me to do the same level of sort of like jobs as the other regular mechanics that are getting paid regular money, getting good money for doing what they're doing. And I was just like, well, hang on a minute, no. You know, I don't mind working underneath, alongside another mechanic. And initially I was, for the first couple of months, I was working alongside another mechanic. And once they realised of what I could do, they more or less sort of like gave me a spare bay that was going, and they was asking me to do, you know, the same sort of level of work as they would do, as the other mechanics are doing. And I was getting a bit fed up with that, to be fair. And the fact that a lot of the other mechanics I wasn't getting along with, because they weren't mature. They're all a bunch of kids. Although they're all older than me, they're acting like a group of 9-year-olds. And they weren't pulling pranks on each other. They were trying to pull pranks on me. And don't get me wrong.
Keep left.
I don't mind a laugh, but. And I also just had this bad vibe about the place, and you know, from day one, I kind of didn't like it, but I kind of knuckled down, and I thought, well, okay, once I get my own bay, once I get, you know, once I've done a year or so down the road, they'll probably, you know, give me a bit more money, but it was just a combination of, you know, a lot of things, and I just said, look. I said, this is not working out. One, I just don't feel like I fit here. And two, you know, the pay isn't great for what you're getting me to do. You know, don't get me wrong, I appreciated the work and that, but for the level of money I was paying, or they're paying me, I just went, nah. You know, especially as like they're asking me to replace, like, or change clutches within 20 minutes or within half hour, and I was like, well, on the books that's at least an hour and a half to 2 hour job, because you've got to drop the clutch out, everything else. But anyway, so I just said, look, I've called it a day. That was the only one that I actually walked away from. The rest of them, it's all a case of I start there. I enjoyed working there. They were paying me what I felt was good money at the time. It wasn't great money, but it wasn't bad money either. I was getting mixed variety of work, but the garages were just not getting enough working for me to stay there. And you know, it's like the other garages that I worked in, all of the other garages literally made me redundant. Literally closed about 6 months to a year down the line after making me redundant. And the last one I was made redundant from, he said, look, it's the last thing I want to do, because you're a great mechanic. And we get along well and everything else, but I have to start letting you go because you're the last one in, so you've got to be the first one out. And literally 2 months later, the other mechanic that he had with him was also made redundant, because he sort of like, me and him kept in touch. They said, yeah, he let me go, and he tried running it for another 4 months on his own, and because again he was on his own and he was trying to take on so much work on his own, he obviously couldn't get as much work done, and a lot of customers were obviously not happy with the fact that it was taking 2 or 3 days just to get the cars worked on, or they'd have to book 2 or 3 days in advance to get a service or whatever, anything needed doing. And he increased his overheads, or increased his charges as well to try and cover money he's losing through, you know, through loans and stuff like that he'd had out against the business, and he just eventually sold it up and called it a day. I think he closed it. Obviously, if it wasn't his own building, he finished the lease on it or whatever. It sat empty for about 2 years. But again, that was sort of like after that was the fourth time I was made redundant, and I was just like, you know, motor vehicle engineering isn't as stable as it used to be. You know, it's not the job for life that it used to be. If you can get into the right garage and a good strong garage with the people around you, like a dealership ideally, although dealerships are the thing I don't like about dealerships, although they're big and you do have some sort of more security because it is a dealership. You're always under pressure to get jobs done, but less than half of the, like I learned from when I was working for Vauxhalls, you're always under the thumb to get the job done for less than half of the booked time. It says keep left, so I'm keeping left. Yeah, that was probably a good decision. So there's that problem. You're always under the thumb. And for smaller garages, it's not so much like that, although you are under some sort of pressure to get work done, obviously, don't get me wrong. You know, they expect you to do the job right rather than cut corners and then just get the job done, if you know what I mean. But obviously, because they're a smaller garage, a smaller amount of cars coming in,
keep left,
smaller amount of customers coming in, and the overheads are a factor. And you know, a lot of them do go under. They get, you know, these bigger dealerships that come along, charge the customer less for a specific work, undercut these smaller garages. And a lot of these smaller garages don't give themselves a good name either by being a bunch of cowboys. And I know a lot of the people do avoid smaller, sort of like, I'd call them backstreet garages, purely for that reason, because normally 9 times out of 10 they're probably on the fiddle, and a few of them are, don't get me wrong. While that guy's coming round, call that van's close.
Keep right.
Oh. Well done, dude. Just pull right in front of me, why don't you?
Exit now.
So once I decided, yeah, it's not, you know, as much as I miss doing it, it's just not stable work unless you can get your own garage. and even then it's not no certainty
Get
that
ready to turn left.
you're going to get the amount of work you need to survive.
Turn left.
Will do.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Didn't take a picture of the thimble, really. I'll have to do one for you. Detach the trailer. I'll do one here, actually. I was driving here, so...
We're here. Now drop the load and go.
I got so busy yabbering. I apologise if it's gone over half hour. I did try to pick a relatively short run. I think we'd be alright. Relative aspects to game length, but I might be wrong. Oops. See the back end travelling out more than I want it to, so I can probably go back in cab in a sec. Actually, I can probably go back in cab now. So open the window. Wrong one. Right. That's that job done. But I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the episode. If you did, again, guys and girls, please feel free to like. If you didn't enjoy the episode for any reason at all, please feel free to dislike. Please leave comments down below either way, so at least then I know how to improve in the future. And if you know anyone else that may also enjoy watching this, guys and girls, please feel free to share. It helps me out a lot and I don't mind you sharing. And if you're new to my channel and receive future episodes of this or anything else that I'm working on, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so then you're aware as soon as I upload a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.